movie is set the same year Michael Myers came back home. You have to wonder if Michael read the newspaper articles about the grabber in Denver and thought, f***ing amateur.
Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
Cutting the plate. Look at this kid's feet. He's on the edge of the batter's box.
Good for you. And the movie apparently made a mistake because a kid is on the edge of the batter's box? What?
I wouldn't worry about it too much, Finney. Once you
Skip.
Man, your arm is mint.
I mean, maybe. But Finney had allowed 2 runners to reach base before Bruce came up to bat.
Didn't you sin Finney's pitch for being really good just a second ago? You mentioned the movement the ball made on the way in, but now you're saying he's not a good pitcher? And besides, just because there are people on base doesn't automatically mean he's bad.
Vintage cornflakes box is on point, but the sin here is for the casual cereal spilling.
Jeremy sins a messy house for being messy. In other words, he doesn't understand visual exposition.
You think you can slurp that a little louder?
Just once I want Jeremy Davies to play the super ordinary guy that works at the grocery store as a produce manager and collects vintage glass baby bottles and has a girlfriend named Mary Beth or Cindy.
Everything wrong with the black phone, ladies and gentlemen. An actor plays an interesting character instead of a boring one.
You're the best around.
Jeremy tries to sing in a video cliche.
Oh, how's that coming?
Penny, he beat
I
you
know,
up.
Gwen, I was there.
He's got empathy for the boy that kicked his ass. Can this protagonist get any more perfect?
Why is it a mistake of the movie for the main character to be a good kid? What the hell? Where's the logic in this?
He doesn't explain it right, not like you.
Normalize the biggest bullies defending the nerds because they get study help from them.
Why is this a sin? Obviously the movie isn't saying that being a bully is okay because of this, it's simply establishing an intriguing relationship between 2 of its characters who end up in the same situation with the main villain. What is bad about this?
Yeah, I took him down because obviously I'm the grabber, you dumb fucking fart knockers.
Even though I agree with it, that fake-ass laugh.
Sometimes my dreams are right.
She's right, obviously, because this is a movie. But what would you say to this if you were one of the cops in the room?
Okay, how does simply asking this question equate to a mistake of the film? No, seriously, he just asks this question and then counts it as a sin. But how is it a sin? Different people would have different answers to this question and none of them would be objectively incorrect. And neither is the movie's version, so what the hell, dude?
You drop that and I will beat your ass twice as hard.
He's an awful, terrible, abusive father. He's evil. But this is a long-running horror trope that I think we need to confront. Not every horror movie needs its hero to be confronting past demons when it confronts the movie's big bad. Sometimes a kid can have a good upbringing and still face evil and come out on top. And yes, horror as a genre is one that is very helpful to people who have past trauma and helps them heal, and that's amazing. But why are so many dads in horror films so fucking evil?
Wait, didn't you just say that horror movies featuring people with messed up backgrounds can help people cope with their own past trauma? And then seconds later you ask why horror movies feature people with messed up backgrounds? Dude, you answered your own question and then counted it as a mistake of the film.
Where's Robin walking? The warehouse district? Why would the grabber be back here?
Because it's a secluded area and he doesn't want to get caught? Where do you think a known serial killer should wait for his victims? In front of the school? Where the cops will undoubtedly be making rounds specifically looking for him?
You could help me have a dream or two and just see something that could help the police or me or anyone find him. I would follow you forever.
Bargaining with Jesus.
Pointing things out on the screen.
I saw a lot of fucking fights in school when I was growing up. I saw a lot of volatile and unpredictable behavior. I never saw someone win a fight and then kick his opponent's sister in the head in front of a bunch of witnesses. So again, I say, should we not confront the horror genre's obsession with putting fictional kids through this kind of over-the-top torture? I get that horror helps people work through their trauma, but god fucking damn, Gwenny in this movie has been beaten by her own father and now kicked in the head by the older bullies who hate her brother, and this is fucked up.
Yes, it's up, but that doesn't automatically necessitate a sin. If you could come up with a genuine reason why this doesn't work on a storytelling level, I might be able to accept your claim, but if you can't do that, then why did you keep this in the video?
Everybody's talking about it.
Finding out the entire school is talking about your humiliation.
Jeremy points things out on the screen, cliche.
After 5 kidnappings in this one area, I'm not really understanding why any kid is allowed to walk anywhere alone.
So, did you already forget the earlier scenes that showed Finney's dad being a horrible piece of shit? I mean, you sinned those scenes, so you obviously saw them, but apparently you already forgot them? Damn, your memory is even worse than mine.
I guess the biggest sin of this movie is the grabber doing these abductions in broad daylight in populous neighborhoods while driving a recognizable vehicle and showing his face.
Except you can clearly see that nobody is around right now, so none of these factors matter. Besides, this is the only time we see him abducting someone in this manner. We don't know how any of the other kidnappings went down, except for the bully, who was kidnapped in a very secluded area.
It's 30 minutes for the black phone to black phone.
Yes, because it established its characters and conflict first. Do you expect movies to just go straight to the reason for their title without doing any background work or characterization? Damn, that's stupid.
Here, the caption writer just What? Decided on their own that behind this non-moving mask, the grabber must have been smirking? What the f is going on here? Deaf people want to know. He obviously could be smirking right now, and maybe that's in the script for some reason, even though he's masked. But even the non-deaf viewer does not know what facial expression he's making under the mask, so this is the weird case of giving too much information in the captions.
You mention how even non-deaf viewers don't know what expression he's making under the mask, and isn't that kind of the point? You can't see his expression, so the captions are telling you that he's smirking, which clues us into his mood during the scene.
The door's shut. No one can hear anything down here. I soundproofed it myself.
But for some reason just left a phone down here. Even if it's not connected, why leave it? Makes no sense.
Because it's not connected and therefore he doesn't think it matters? He made a mistake, my dude.
Being bad at jumping.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Don't hang up.
Then how about you start with something other than a Gollum impression of the kid's name like you did on the last phone call, asshole.
Jeremy double dips cliche.
Who is this?
I don't remember my name.
But you remember Finney's? Not to mention, you're about to repeat dialogue from the beginning of the film, so why do you keep that memory but lose the memory of who you are when you become a ghost?
Because he's dead, whereas Finney is still alive. This is the concept of people losing their identities once they get murdered, which kinda makes the movie even scarier.
There's a dirt section of the floor in the hallway where the tile is loose.
Sweet! Why did you waste so much time repeating a real-life dialogue exchange before mentioning this?
Because he needed to establish who he was in order to get Finney to understand the situation and trust him? Remember, the kids don't remember their own identities in the afterlife, so they have to use past interactions with Finney to build that trust.
No one will be seated while we watch all of Bruce's childhood.
Jeremy has the attention span of a toddler with ADHD cliche.
She's dreaming about her brother having been kidnapped, so she goes bike riding at night? This is not a smart decision.
No, it's really not smart, but she's a child whose brother, the person she's closest to out of everyone in the world, has been kidnapped, and she knows the police won't be able to find him. Besides, she had a supernatural vision, which probably made her feel somewhat safe. She's not just a normal kid, and she knows it.
Grabber, please don't pay attention to this random rug I put down here. I just thought the place could use some sparkling up.
This sin was meant as a joke, and cool, whatever, but I'd just like to point out how the grabber doesn't actually go around to that side hallway, so he wouldn't even see this to be able to question it.
Hello?
Don't go upstairs.
Why not?
It's a trap.
And thankfully, you were distracted by the ringing of the phone and chose to pick it up instead of continuing to open the door. Sure, Bruce could have explained this trap business to you when he called earlier, but we're trying to set a mood, Finney.
Telling Finney everything as the story progresses obviously works for story purposes, but in terms of an in-universe reason, it could be that the spirits of the dead kids are not able to tell him things that aren't directly related to his immediate situation. In other words, they can only tell him things when those things are currently happening. I'm not saying this is definitely the answer, I'm just saying it's a possibility that Jeremy really should have thought of.
Who are you?
I don't remember.
But you remembered enough to know you weren't Bruce when Finney asked.
Yeah? And the sin is what exactly? Dude, this is a movie dealing with the supernatural and contact with the dead. Why are you questioning this?
You are a long cable loose from down there. I kept it hidden.
What am I supposed to do with that?
Instead of telling you exactly where the wire is while I'm on the phone with you, I will perform this bottle trick, and hopefully you will follow along.
Honestly, showing him where it is rather than telling him is a much better strategy. Telling people directions can and often does result in miscommunication.
I mean, this plan in the end doesn't work, but he's able to get the wire to go straight up the rug and out the other end, and that is some bullshit.
And why is that? Can you provide some evidence? I mean, sure, it would be difficult to accomplish this, but it's not impossible. Besides, it's not as if Finney has anything better to do. He's got a whole lot of attempts to get this right. Also, that fake-ass laugh at the beginning of the sin.
Also, why did the grabber leave all these rugs down here in the first place? That makes about as much sense as leaving the phone on the wall.
Probably for the same reason as leaving the phone on the wall. He doesn't think it matters, and he's simply using the basement for storage for the rugs. Seriously, how are you expecting him to foresee Finney using the rugs to escape? That's not exactly an obvious thing.
Instead of running the cable through this roll of carpet, why didn't he put all the rolls of carpet here and just climb up?